So what made it to where you can go 29 years with the same organization? What would be the one thing that you think is what kept you here?
This place has done a lot for me and my family, and I just feel like I owe some loyalty and some honesty to them, and so I've just been here a long time, and they've treated me well.
In a business where there's not much loyalty, right?
You know, there's a lot of loyalty in the car business. It always kind of strikes me strange when people say used car salesman.
Yeah.
They're some of the greatest people I know.
Yeah.
I never sold a thing until I started selling cars.
So what made you decide to start selling cars?
I got a promotion in the military.
Okay.
And it was time to get a second car.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Appreciate it. So it was time to get a second car.
Okay.
So I came to Dennis Eakin Mazda to buy a pickup truck.
Okay.
And I was stuck on $200 a month. How many times we hear that?
Yeah.
$350. And anyway, I couldn't get a truck for $200 a month, right? So I went home, and this guy named Rick Yell called me, and he says, "Hey, we can get you to $219, right?" And I said, "Well, if I go to $219, my wife has to get a job." And he said, "Hold on." And he called me. "I'll call you back." So about 20 minutes later, he called me back, and they offered my wife a job.
Doing what?
She was a greeter
Well, that's
at the dealership. So that's how we started here. She became a greeter, and then she moved into sales, and then just from there, it just blew up.
What is the main quality that you think a salesperson's got to have in order to be successful in today's market?
Just honesty and integrity. They're intertwined. If you can do all that, everything else will just fall into place.
Is there a certain characteristic of person that you would recommend come in and apply?
You never know. No, there's
No?
not a certain characteristic. There's people that come in and you're like, oh man, that guy's not gonna make it, and then bam, or that lady, I don't know about her, she's fantastic. You just once somebody gets put under the pressure or the microscope, and they're willing to learn.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a salesperson. The salesperson comes in, they can sell one car, they can sell 100.
Yeah.
But they just give up. They don't want to put the work in. They don't want to put the stress, the effort.
On my very first day of work, I sold 2 cars accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't allowed to sell any cars until I watched at least the first season or series of the Joe Verde's tapes, which I think there's some upstairs.
Yeah.
And I remember doing that and then going outside to take a break. I didn't have lunch. I was broke. So for my lunch break, I went outside and started walking the lot. And there was a family that pulled up around this 87 Camry. Do you remember how boxy those things were? And I'm just looking at them. They're looking at me like, "Are you going to help me?" And I think the name of that lady was Sarah Crawford or something like that. I sold that family like 4 or 5 cars, but that was my first sale. And she was 16 years old, and her dad bought her that car. And I just remembered being a part of the process of her getting